Imagine an internet where Google doesn't exist, where Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Wikipedia are not just blocked, but are alien concepts, unknown to the vast majority of the population. Imagine an internet where typing the date June 4th, 1989 can get your internet connection throttled, your social media account banned, or the police knocking on your door. This is not a hypothetical dystopia. This is the daily reality for 1.4 billion people in China. They live behind the Great Firewall, the most sophisticated, expensive, and effective system of digital mass surveillance and censorship in human history. It is a digital iron curtain that separates China from the rest of the world. But how does it actually work? How do you filter the traffic of a billion people in real time? How do you stop and most importantly, how do the people inside fight back? Today, we are going to reverse engineer the Great Firewall. We are going to look at the technology of deep packet inspection, the psychology of self-censorship, and the cat-and-mouse game between the censors and the citizens. This is the story of how the internet, designed to be a tool of freedom, was turned into the ultimate tool of control. Before we dive into the technical architecture of this digital prison, if you're fascinated by the intersection of technology and geopolitics, verify your subscription. We decode the systems that run the world. To understand the Great Firewall, GFW, we have to go back to late 90s. The internet was arriving in China. The Communist Party faced a dilemma. They needed the internet for economic growth, to trade with the West, to modernize industry. But they feared the internet for its political potential, the free flow of information, the ability to organize protests. So they adopted a strategy famously described by Deng Xiaoping. If you open the window for fresh air, you have to expect some flies to blow in. The firewall is the screen that keeps the flies' Western values, democracy, dissent out, while letting the fresh air, money, commerce, science in. The GFW is not a single device. It is a decentralized system integrated into the very backbone of China's internet infrastructure. Every byte of data that enters or leaves China passes through massive government-controlled gateways. At these gateways, the data undergoes deep packet inspection. In a normal network, routers only look at the header of a data packet, the address of where it's going. DPI looks inside the envelope. It reads the payload. If the payload contains forbidden keywords like Tiananmen, Taiwan independence, or Winnie the Pooh, a derogatory meme for President Xi Jinping, the router sends a TCP reset packet. This is a fake signal sent to both the sender and the receiver that says, "Stop talking. The connection is broken." The connection drops instantly. It's like a phone line being cut mid, but keywords are easy to change. So the GFW also blocks IPs. They maintain a massive blacklist of IP addresses belonging to Google, Twitter, BBC, and foreign news sites. If you try to connect to 142.250x Google, the connection times out. This is IP blocking, but IPs can change. So they use DNS poisoning. When you type Facebook.com, your computer asks a DNS server for the IP address. The GFW intercepts this request and replies with a fake IP address or no address at all. Your computer ends up trying to connect to nowhere. However, the most impressive and terrifying part of the firewall is its ability to learn. In the early days, you could easily bypass it with a VPN, virtual private network. A VPN encrypts your traffic so the DPI can't read the payload. It looks like random noise. But the GFW has evolved. It now uses machine learning to identify VP, unlike traffic. It looks at the statistical patterns, the timing of packets, the size of packets, the handshake protocols. Even if it can't read the data, it knows asterisk. That asterisk, it is encrypted traffic going to an unknown server abroad, and it throttles it, or it blocks the port. This is active probing. If the GFW suspects a server is running a VPN like Shadowsocks or Wire, it will actively send its own packets to that server to see how it responds. If the server responds like a VPN, it gets added to the blacklist instantly. This has created a domestic internet that is a parallel universe. Because foreign sites are blocked, domestic alternatives flourished. Instead of Google, there is Baidu. Instead of YouTube, there is Bilibili. Instead of Twitter, there is Weibo. Instead of WhatsApp, there is WeChat. WeChat is particularly powerful. It is an everything app. You use it to chat, pay bills, order food, book flights, and prove your identity. And because it is domestic, the government has backdoor access to everything. Every message, every payment, every location ping is accessible to the authorities. If you say something harmful in a private group chat, your account can be... In a society where WeChat is required for daily life, losing your account is like digital death. You can't buy food. You can't travel. This enforces self-censorship. People don't need a policeman standing over their shoulder. The fear of losing their digital life keeps them in line. They use code words, metaphors, and images to communicate dissent, a language known as Martian, constantly evolving to stay one step ahead of the censors. But the wall is not perfect. It is porous. Millions of Chinese citizens, academics, business people, gamers use VPNs daily to jump the wall. The government tolerates this to a degree. They know that if they blocked all asterisk VPNs, the economy would crash. Foreign companies need VPNs to work. So, there is a gray area. State-approved VPNs exist for businesses, costing thousands of dollars and logging all traffic. Illegal VPNs exist for the masses, constantly playing cat and mouse. During sensitive times, like the National Party Congress, the GFW tightens. VPNs stop working. The internet slows to a crawl. Then, when the meeting is over, it relaxes again. It is a breathing, living organism of control. The implications of this system are global. China is exporting this technology. They sell the hardware and the software of the Great Firewall to other authoritarian regimes. Russia, Venezuela, African nations. They are building a splinternet, a world where the internet is not global, but fragmented into national intranets, each controlled by its local dictator. The dream of a borderless world is dying. This brings us to the question of your own digital sovereignty. You might think, I don't live in China. I don't need to worry. But the technologies of surveillance DPI, AI monitoring, facial recognition are universal. Western governments and corporations use them too, usually for advertising or national security. The infrastructure of control is being built everywhere. The difference is just who holds the keys. If you value your privacy, if you believe that your browsing history shouldn't be a government dossier, you need to take steps to protect yourself. A VPN is not just a tool for bypassing censorship. It is a tool for digital hygiene. It encrypts your traffic from your ISP who sells your data, protects you on public Wi-Fi, and masks your location. And speaking of VPNs, the cat and mouse game requires a tool that is fast, reliable, and constantly updated to beat the censors. That's why I recommend Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is one of the few VPNs that actively fights for your digital freedom. They have a feature called camouflage mode or obfuscation, which makes your VPN traffic look like regular web traffic, helping to bypass DPI blocks, like the ones used in China or corporate firewalls. They have no borders mode specifically designed for restrictive regions. Plus, they offer unlimited device connections. You can protect your phone, your laptop, your TV, and your family's devices with one account. They have a strict no-locks policy, audited independently, so even they don't know what you are doing. In a world where the walls are getting higher, you need a ladder. Surfshark is that ladder. Whether you are trying to access global news, watch Netflix shows from other countries, or just keep your data away from prying eyes, It is an essential tool in 2024. Check the link in the description to get an exclusive Delusionally over 80% off, plus free extra months. Don't browse naked. Protect your packets. The Great Firewall proves that technology is neutral. It can liberate or it can enslave. It depends on who designs the system. Understanding how these systems work is the first step in ensuring that the future of the internet remains open, or at least, that you can always find a door out of the cage. Stay safe, stay encrypted, and see you in the next one.